This is a post game interview after your speech. We're here live at the We're here live at the Black Teen Summit 2025. Mr. Dr. Ernest Crim. Just getting some perspective on how everything went. I'm Mr. Cage, one of his right-hand men, one of the soldiers. But no, this is my close brother, my partner. We work diligently in the community to really impact the youth. But this is the post game after the speech. So how did you feel about it? What was the flow? Tell us a little bit about what you talked about with the kids today.
Man, I felt good, bro. For one, like I think I mentioned, this is the first place I ever spoke where I was compensated 8 years ago. I've collaborated with Trio a lot over the years too, so it's always family, I mean, this is, I would say, one of the first organizations that truly gave me an opportunity to even do something outside of class. I mean, there were opportunities where they would have me talk to their Trio kids after school, So it feels like a homecoming to me. The thought process for me when they hit me up was essentially they talking about like technology, entrepreneurship. So I thought about taking a different approach because normally I'll come in from the strictly, historical empowerment lens.
Yeah.
So I like this because it stretched me because I want to be able to have a variety of ways to enter the conversation. The conversation then is how do you go viral with education, with empowerment, with advocating for justice? Because I can easily go up there and give a whole little quote-unquote marketing course on just find the craziest thing you can say or share, put it online, you're going to get a bunch of views. But that ain't what it's for. It got to be for a purpose. So the purpose of this whole talk was to say you can go viral, you can build a following, you can reach people by advocating and helping others. But you can only do that properly if you know what your purpose is, right? And that's a process. You don't just wake up one day sometimes and know it, but you have to at least know that you're here to solve a problem and help make the world a better place.
Yeah.
We got to start with that as a foundation. How you do that depends on what you are passionate about. For some people, it could be using basketball to mentor. Our boy Mr. Coatney, using chess to mentor, right?
Yeah.
The perfect combination is combining that passion with, something that, your purpose with that passion is what I mean to say. So I wanted them to really think about that, especially at this age between 14 and 18. It's an ongoing process. I mean, shoot, the videos I used to make when I first started making videos were more so general motivation stuff.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because that wasn't really the angle that I took when I'm talking to people in class and stuff, but I thought that was what I needed to do. But I kept creating, and then I just kind of found something that worked for me. The main thing I hope they walk away with is, regardless of quote-unquote going viral, you got to know who you are as a person, and your self-worth can't be tied to any number, any data, any type of views. And all in all, let's use these devices as producers and strive to do something that can help us all out collectively.
Yeah. Powerful. I took a lot from the experience and the speech. It was tremendously interactive, and I saw you make an audible call. When the video started, which the pivot was you had everybody take out their phones and go to the hate crime, which was amazing. But I wanted to pick your brain about a statement that you made, and this is my paraphrase. One of your slides read, "If your intent or motive for creating videos or viral content is to be famous, stop." Why?
Man, real talk. Because nothing, with the exception of when I do paid content, I want it to do well, right? Nothing I create is from the foundation of wanting to just simply go viral. Now, of course, I get compensated with views, the following can grow and stuff like that. What's up, man? But the purpose is I'm trying to make an impact. I'm educating. That's my main thing. I start from a place of what can I teach people that they didn't learn? How does it apply to the present day? How can it motivate and help them moving forward, right? a lot of people go into this say I want to be famous, but that's an empty thing.
Yeah.
That's strictly capitalist. That means you feel that you have an empty void in your life, right? Mm-hmm. And if I'm able to get recognized for something that's insignificant, that means I'll have self-worth. Your self-worth can't be tied to somebody else's approval. It's fleeting. You know what I'm saying? So if that's it, then just move along and keep. And I would say keep working on finding your purpose. People want to make money just to get rich.
Yeah.
I want some more money so we can help. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, the example with Keith Lee. Keith Lee didn't even start doing that to make money. Mm-hmm. It was social anxiety. The platform grew.
Yeah.
He uses that money to help small businesses, particularly black-owned businesses. So once you go in from that angle, it's, man, I got to get these views to help, but now I got to get these views to get recognized. Again, just to kind of close, and that's the emptiest thing you can do, man. And I would even say, like, that's the same perspective I had when I was thinking I wanted to be an NBA player, to make money and to be famous. That's why I didn't care. I mean, I love ball, but it's empty.
Yeah.
I didn't have the same passion other people had like I thought. So you got to find something. You got to find a deeper reason to do it.
Yeah. I got two last questions for you in this post game interview, right? I'm gonna ask you how you felt throughout the whole facilitation presentation, but I got two questions based on what I gather. One of the thoughts that I gather from what you were saying when you went to the flight, it was a fight. What was it? Fight, freeze, and fawn. You gave some strong examples and some elaboration on that. But what I took from that was my weapon is not my fist. My weapon is my mind. Yeah. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, man, look, bro. I grew up in an environment where I was mostly the youngest person in my neighborhood at all times. Shout out to everybody that grew up around 128th and Sangamon in the 90s. I fought all the time as a kid. Whenever I didn't have the words to express how I felt sometimes. And especially when they were older dudes, I just like, that's the best way to let out my frustration.
Yeah.
There were times, you know, and I grew up in a household, truth be told, where if I go in the house and tell my mom somebody messed with me, she gonna say, then what did you do? Mm-hmm. Go back out there. There are times I won, there are times I lost, but I feel like I built a mentality of grit, a mentality of persistence, of never quitting. But luckily, I also had teachers who let me help me realize that there's more than that. Now, I didn't fight a lot at school. It was mostly in my neighborhood. I only had like one fight at school. But I had a 4th grade teacher, Miss Irvin, and didn't play. And the moment I started acting up in class, throwing papers and stuff at people, she moved my seat. And she kind of reminded me of my grandma too. And I just remember her believing in me, but then also redirecting me. Yeah. You know? So by the time I'm 10, that's out of my system. But I always knew I had that energy and that passion. If you come across anybody that's like a ferocious fighter, or anybody that does anything with a lot of passion, if it's for the wrong thing, it has to just be redirected. You know? So by the time I deal with that hate crime, I am well versed in what it means to then fight without your fists. The reason why that's so important is we know we basic humanity, defend yourself if your life is in danger. That's just what you need to do, right? Mm-hmm. But also too, as an adult, you understand the body wears down. You can't do this for the rest of your life. The baddest man walking at one point, Mike Tyson, can't even beat Jake Paul. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I should have used that example. I meant to say that. Yeah. Right. So you can win the fight that day. Kudos to you. But then what? Yeah. I won the fight on July 30, 2016, hypothetically, if I fight physically, which for me, it still wouldn't be a win. But how am I helping people July 30 of 2026?
Yes, sir.
I'm deeply rooted in service and community. Yes, sir. So it has to be something else. No, there is no fight in this physical world that can be won in a physical manner to withstand itself long term. Now we talking from the spiritual realm.
I feel you.
There are so many issues to me in this country now because we live in a place that feels as though we always have to solve our problems abroad and locally by force, whether gun violence or otherwise. So I want them to think, be strong-willed physically, but we have to strategize tactically. How do we liberate ourselves and provide for ourselves? Fighting for yourself could be getting some land and growing food. Yeah. Fighting for yourself could be employing people, becoming a teacher, mentoring, right? So that's what it's about to me, man. Like, LeBron, as great as he is, he's going to have to retire at some point. Yeah. And that's just the reality of life, bro.
Because when you were sharing the story, I thought about how much self-awareness, that you had to have in that situation, and emotional intelligence, and to be able to manage self and make a wise decision, not necessarily thinking about yourself in a moment, because that was a threat. That was a legitimate threat, but you still responded in a way that built a platform that brought us here.
Yeah. And check it out, bro. Like, here's the thing about fighting. When you an adult, especially, so let's go back. Fighting as a kid is about pride. I got to prove to people I can fight and defend myself, because I don't want them to look at me like I'm a lame or something, or a square, whatever, right? We grown. I don't want to fight nobody. That take a lot of energy, first and foremost.
Yeah. We too old for that.
We too old for that, man. A lot of energy. I want to beat up the punching bag. Secondly, no man of honor wants to be in a situation where they have to fight somebody they know is not, at least not on their level physically.
Yeah.
My target in that moment would have been a woman. I know what she did. She shouldn't have did it, right? But I don't gain anything, bro, from being down her. And when you know your strength, sometimes true strength is when you know you shouldn't use it. Because when you take martial arts, what they tell you, we teach you this so you don't have to use it. Because people that know martial arts, speaking from experience of knowing people and having students who are black, whatever belts, they could kill a person.
Yeah.
They could kill you, but they don't want to have to ever do it. So it has to be some form of self-discipline, man. And again, just understanding that, like, as an adult, like, that ain't really bragging rights like we think it is, as we were when we were children.
Wow. Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go to the next last two questions. But somebody spit on you. Well, I'm sorry. Somebody spit at you. It could have been some residue or some type of liquid that hit. And to have the self-awareness and the wherewithal to think, okay, if I do this, what's the consequence of this, is amazing. Two more questions for you. One note that I got from what you were saying, you was talking about reparations, and you talked about it in a different aspect than we're accustomed to, but I want to talk about the aspect that we're accustomed to as far as land. My statement was, based on what I heard you say, is that 2025 and beyond, the land is digital. So my question to you is, how do we use us acquiring the digital land and the space, social media on these platforms, to take back the land that was taken from us?
Man, I love that. Because again, now we're talking a couple of points that I meant to make that I forgot, bruh. I wanted to talk about producing from the perspective of also, and it was on the slide, if they read it, they could have saw it. But we got to also think about, is it better to go viral on a platform or create a platform where people can go viral? You know what I'm saying?
Say it again for me.
Is it better to go viral on a platform or create a platform where people can go viral?
That's a key note. That's a key note.
Right? Do you want to, you know what I'm saying, have the player, do you want to be the MVP or on the team where the player's the MVP, for example, right? So I think what that looks like is we can join them, because there are black-owned platforms like Fanbase and Spill and stuff like that. Join it because there's a bunch of people there, but also think, well, what can I create that's different? Or even outside of social media, like, how can I create something in the digital space that people use? Websites, digital marketing, stuff like that. How can I help folks? That, and again, that's the true currency. That's not what a lot of kids are learning. Not learning how to code, how to build sites and things like that, especially if you are in our communities.